welcome to How to Market Your Healthcare Business. We've had brisk signups for this seminar, and so we're so glad you all are here tonight. We have a chore for you all to do. We want you to really burn that chat up tonight. We want you to put all of your questions in there, and we're going to try to get them all answered. Plus, we'd like for you to put your contact information there, because there are people on this line that you can communicate with that can help you, or you might be able to share clients. There's just so much you can do when you have other people that you can collaborate with. And most of us that are in healthcare, we're kind of heads down all the time. We don't communicate with other people because we're so busy getting things done. So I think this is a great format for you all to be able to know each other. You all should be able to save the chat tonight. I think it's set up that way. If not, I can get it to you later. But just make sure that you put your name, the name of your business, your website, your email address for sure, so that we can stay in contact with you as a group. So this is something that we really want to be sure that we do tonight. Thank you all so much for coming. They're coming in. We prepared some great information for you all. Nancy and I both have done lots of marketing with our own businesses, and I constantly work with healthcare people, not only in home care, in all facets of healthcare businesses over the last 5 years with SCORE. So what we've done is we talked about ways that you can market your business. We tried things, some things didn't work as well, and hopefully we'll get some things out tonight. Also, if you have things tonight that have worked very, very well for you, we'd like for you to put that in the chat and share it with others when you've done something that you tried and it really worked out for you. Welcome again. For those of you that are just coming, please put all of your information in the chat to share with the group, your email, your website. And if the name of your business doesn't really easily tell us what you do, tell us what your business does. We can certainly go to your website, but it'd be good to know that too.
Yeah, I'm very glad that people are coming out tonight for this very important topic. I mean, small business entrepreneurs, healthcare agencies, and solo practitioners. We need this kind of fellowship.
Home care people.
Yep. Yes. We need this kind of fellowship. As Patti brought up before, you know, we're siloed. We're often siloed, and we need this support system. We need to learn from one another. We need to share best practices. And so I'm glad that everybody is here tonight. We'll get started in just a moment.
Yes, I remember when I was doing my home care business, I really didn't have time to network with anyone. There was so much work to be done. And when I had a moment off, I needed to rest. So I know you all are the same way. So we're going to try to fix that and start to have forums where you all can come together with us, and we'll try to give you some information and let you feel a little more comfortable that someone's looking out for you.
And looking out for one another. You know, coming together and helping each other is absolutely what it's all about. Patti and I met when we had our respective agencies, and we've held together in a number of capacities, not only work, but also volunteering and fellowshipping. So we go way back, and it's our marketing that kept us together and made our agencies a success. We're happy to share this with you tonight.
Yes. Okay, we're not going to belabor the evening. We're going to go ahead and get started. The others can join as they come in. What we'd like for you all to know is that we have spent, Nancy and I really worked on this for a few months off and on to pull this together, because what we try to do is when we get requests from a lot of individuals for the same type of thing at SCORE, we try to put together a seminar or a workshop. And I've known Nancy, she said, for a long time. So she came along to do this with me. So Nancy, can you go to the next slide?
Absolutely. Again, I want to welcome everybody to the How to Market Your Healthcare Business. Glad everybody's here. My name is Nancy Ruffner. I'm a patient advocate, a former agency owner. I'm a consultant, speaker, and coach. I'm here tonight to help share marketing basics that I've learned along the way with you. And I'd like to lob this over to my colleague, Patti.
Yes, I think most of you know me, or you've certainly gotten emails from me before if you're connected with SCORE in any way. But I'm a registered nurse. Before I became a nurse back in the 90s, I was an IBMer for 15 years. And I decided to go to nursing school, worked in all the local hospitals, and I opened a home care agency. It was called Assurance Health Services. Assurance Health Services is still running right now. I sold that business in 2018. And after I sold the home care agency, now I do home care consulting. And I've been in SCORE now for 5 years. It'll be 5 years this month. I'm getting my 5-year anniversary. It went by fast, didn't it, Nancy?
It did.
She actually remembers when I got started. But I enjoy that. I mentor all the time within SCORE with all types of healthcare businesses. I love home care. I love staying close to home care. And I'm out in the community quite a bit teaching about business, because being in business is not easy. It was very difficult for me. So I try to make sure that I do a knowledge transfer. It's what I call it. I want to transfer as much knowledge to you all as I can. And we're going to try to do some of that tonight. Nancy's told you a little bit about her. And as we go through this tonight, we'll tell you more about ourselves. You'll get to know us, some of the stories we have to tell. Okay, Nancy.
Absolutely. Well, to honor your time, we're going to jump right in. You guys are going to recognize a theme and certainly an emphasis for this workshop. Now, tonight is about relationships. Marketing means relationships, building relationships. It also means that tonight is not about big budget considerations. You know, Patti and I built our agencies. We bootstrapped. We're here to give you actionable ideas that you can start right now, give you some new thinking, stuff to try, and how to find out what works for you. We've got an agenda set for you tonight. We're going to talk about networking. You know, there's preparation, there's right ways, there's wrong ways. And I'm going to cover both in-person and online networking. In fact, I want you to do some networking right now. We've been encouraging people as they join to be active in the chat. Please feel free to place your name, your profession, and your email in the chat. Let's network. You know, we've agreed we're siloed people so often, and we need to network as hard as we can. We're also going to talk about social media and opportunities for volunteering, which can help grow your business. The theme you're going to see tonight is about purpose, intentional work, setting intentions, and relationship building. And some no cost, low cost, and high return actions that you can take. Let's go right into networking. And for anybody that's just joining us, we've been placing our names, our profession, our contact information, including email in the chat. Well, here we are at ground rules and setting intentions. Shocker alert, networking should not be about you. It involves you. It can help your business, but you don't have to perform or outperform. It's not just about glad handing or hanging out with our friends at an event. Remember, networking, we're not there to make somebody like us in 30 minutes. It can be fun for some, but it is work. It's opportunity. It's furthering our businesses. We're entrepreneurs. Let me just say that the one that leaves with the most business cards is not the winner. We can set a personal goal to meet 1 or 2 new people at each event. The word networking, network, work, enough said. You're building your business. Networking is a skill that once learned can go with you and grow with you throughout your career. For anybody that's just joined us, we are networking right now by putting our contact information in the chat, name, profession, email, agency name, if you have it. Networking impacts your business. Now, that's a pretty fair statement. I think everybody would agree. But here's what you can do with some of this networking. There's benefits. Now, I'm going to come back to the how-tos. The benefits, you're promoting you and your business, obviously. Networking means you're there to meet new people, to find referral partners to nurture. You can find talent. You can find the vendors your business is going to need, like IT or bookkeepers, social media professionals, or office upfit personnel. You're there to build the resources for your clientele as well. What are they going to need? You can help build their network, their circle of care, coming to know medical professionals or home care services or attorneys or anybody that your client may need. Networking is also for finding and getting speaking gigs. You can go and check out a venue, see the space. You can connect with the host who's throwing the event. That never hurts. You can observe the making of a good event or a bad event. See how it rolls. See how it's hosted. See how it was promoted and what makes it a success. Evaluate that process for your own purposes. When networking, you can take a coworker along for their introduction to networking, working. Can't say that enough. You can increase your lay of the healthcare land. Come to understand the structure of the organizations with whom you're going to be working in concert. Every one of our clients are going to need for you to understand these organizations. And you can work to grow an email list. Now, I got some pro tips coming on the social media aspects of this. One last reminder for those who've just joined us, we are networking tonight by using the chat. We're placing our name, our emails, our organization contact information in the chat so that we might all work with one another. Networking is also about getting much needed referrals. Don't skip an event because in your mind, your ideal client's not going to be there. Go to meet friends and family of potential clients. By remaining service focused, somebody in attendance might need your services, or perhaps their neighbor or someone in their faith community is going to need them. For example, I'm a patient advocate and I'm in elder care. And my ideal client is likely not going to be at the Rotary Club meeting, but everybody at the Rotary Club meeting has aging loved ones or knows a solo ager or somebody coming out of the hospital. We can all count on that. Here's some more forms of networking strategy for everybody. One is to arrive on time, even a little earlier. The earlier you get to an event, the smaller the crowd's going to be. And this can make it easier for introverts among us to approach or greet strangers or spark up a conversation without feeling quite so threatened by a room full of people. Plus, if there's fewer people in the room, more quality conversations are possible. And making one true connection early in the night is ideal for both of you, for your confidence building. And it's an easy gateway to meet more people, get more introductions, because your new pal can serve as a springboard for meeting other people without having to approach any strangers if that's not your thing. Using tips like these, you can avoid your linking crowds and fear and networking all in one light. Psychologically, it desensitizes your anxiety. So if you're feeling less than confident, I suggest you take a wingman or woman with you. Online, there's good news too for anybody that's introverted or shy. The pandemic took away a lot of the scariness of online networking. You know, if you thought it odd or too bold of a move or unfeeling to connect with somebody electronically, the pandemic made connecting on LinkedIn like a walk in the park. It normalized it, it leveled the playing field. And folks are more accepting of connecting with you online now than ever before. To find our own way, to become more comfortable, you can associate networking with something that you like. I knew one fellow who would go and buy a caramel macchiato just before the networking event. It was something that he really liked. He just loved it. And he associates networking now with his treat, his caramel macchiato. And it gave him a psychological advantage. You can bargain with yourself. I know I do. If I do this, then I get to do that. Just like when we were kids and they promised we'll go for ice cream afterwards. Well, that kind of bargaining in my head still works for me. If I don't particularly feel like going, I may urge myself to go if there's promise of a payoff afterwards. There's a lot of online articles about networking for people who hate networking or networking for introverts. So do a little bit of Googling. You know, for introverts specifically, being shy and being introverted are not the same thing, although they may appear to be the same. An introvert enjoys time alone and can become emotionally drained after spending time around a lot of other people. But a shy person doesn't necessarily want to be alone, but has fear of interacting with others. Now, I'm not trying to lump everybody here into one particular category, but I want to pass along these kinds of suggestions that you may find helpful. Here's a situation. A woman that I was coaching confessed, I am so introverted and shy that I'm usually the person who hides out in my hotel room during the networking part of the conference. This person is saying that they skipped the networking opportunities at conferences. Why do you suppose that is? Well, maybe they don't know about the stuff in this webinar that we're covering tonight. Or maybe they don't know that you can shift your focus onto the other party and not yourself. Stay tuned for more on this. Maybe they don't know that they can set an intention and benefit. People will declare themselves as shy or use terminology or label themselves as being an introvert. Being an introvert or shy is just fine if they really are. Some people just glom onto the word introvert and they hide behind it as a way to shirk responsibility or avoid any action that they need to take. But I'm here to tell you, introverted people have distinct advantages in networking, both online and in person. They can use different approaches.
And Nancy, I would
Yes.
just like to interject that
Please.
as healthcare people, we are so accustomed to being reserved, listening, not speaking up. That's how we take care of people. But you all, once you go into business, the game has to change. You still need to be that compassionate person. You still need to have all of those mannerisms and everything you had when you were just a healthcare person. But once you get into business, you're going to have to learn how to overcome some of those things by telling people, this is what my business does. Hello, I am Patti Williams and my business does this. What do? You've got to have an opening line. You need an elevator pitch and you need it all the time. It doesn't have to be long. When I was in home care and people would ask me what I did, I said, I send people into the home who help those who have needs. Everyone understood that. That took 5 seconds. So get something very easy. If they want to know more, be ready to talk. But I know it's difficult because as healthcare people, you're smart, you know a lot, and you kind of are like being quiet so you can listen, but you're going to need to speak up and it's going to take practice. And we're trying to give you some tools, but just know that it's going to be uncomfortable, but it's something you need to overcome to make sure your business is promoted properly. Okay, Nancy.
I totally agree with Patti. You know, We do listen and we serve, and it is that service portion that can help us to become wonderful networkers, especially the introverts. Introverts are next level listeners. They often prefer to hear what others have to say rather than talk to themselves. So this next part should come pretty easy. In networking, let people talk about themselves and then figure out how you can help them. Networking is not about what you're going to say. The focus should be on the other person and service. There's a lot more benefits of networking, and we've got to take this stuff really seriously. Another benefit in networking is that you could gain access to potential mentors, people that can help you. Would that be helpful? You can find opportunities like learn about conferences and events, and offer to promote those events and conferences that your fellow practitioners are attending or maybe even speaking at. Cross promote. Tell a client or another professional about what is coming up and make a plan to go together, thereby getting yourself a wing person. If there's a call for presenters for a conference, wouldn't you like to know about that if you do any public speaking? Or maybe somebody will invite you to be a guest on their podcast. Watch and learn that podcast. See how they set that up. Watch how people set up networking events. Could you do that? Networking can also
one thing that I've been told by a lot of the individuals I work with is that there's a lack of information sharing among their peers. Mm-hmm. There are plenty of clients and patients out here that we can cover. So I would like for you all to overcome that. If you can give someone a piece of information or help them, hopefully they will reciprocate at some point. I always had several agencies that would refer to me, and I would refer to them when something was out of reach for my aides, if it was too far, if it was in their area, and we worked well together. So there's not a lack of clients. If you all work together, I believe you can develop relationships and really help each other. There is competition, but everybody on this line is going to be the best at what they do. So if you're the best, you don't have any competition. So just look at it that way and communicate with each other and help each other as much as you can. Okay, Nancy.
That's right. Your network can increase your net worth. So position yourself among professional people, successful people that whose influence can help you go far. Be around the kind of people that are helpful and that have helped you, and then go be that person. Let's talk about events, finding events. How do you find events? How do you find places to network? You can subscribe to local feeds. I'm in a senior care kind of feed in my city. Does your town or city have those glossy magazines that are on the rack at the grocery store? Do they run events or gatherings for professionals? Find that publisher inside that glossy magazine and find out where the networking may be in your community. You can find events by setting up Google alerts. If you're not quite familiar with what a Google alert is, then Google that and find out how you can remain apprised of what's going on in your community. Look at your regional news outlets, the website of chambers of commerce. Local TV stations also have an events coming up type of tab. Meetup groups. Maybe there's industry related stuff that you can go to. And then there's those civic groups we were talking about, the Kiwanis, the Rotarian, that kind of thing. Maybe there's annual events in your area. Do y'all have a local festival? Maybe some health fairs, wellness fairs. You can consider your level of involvement. You can exhibit, you can attend, you can volunteer to the point where it best suits you. You combine your interests and your passion with your networking. For instance, I just picked up a bunch of trash at a state park, and I joined up with this group called Friends of Jocassee, and it was a lot of retirees. So as a patient advocate who consults with seniors about healthcare, I was fishing in the right pond. But I found a network, a social network too. I did some good, combined my interest with my work, and began to let them know me, FaceTime, planting seeds. And I intend to stay top of mind with those folks. So it's staying with, it's joining something and committing. And I'll tell again, Patti and I have that story. You know, we met because we were both in healthcare and we wanted to know about each other's businesses. So we went to lunch. I still remember where. Then we joined Toastmasters together, and we got a lot of benefit from Toastmasters about how to promote our business. And then we continued to stay in touch. And here we are today, years later, with you. Now, Patti mentioned elevator speech readiness. Y'all, your elevator speech isn't really about you. What, you say? We've all heard so much about having a 30-second elevator speech at the ready, and this is true. We professionals should have a 30-second commercial that explains how we solve problems for our potential clients. Your elevator speech tells people who are your clients, who are your potential people, and what you can do for them. Why should that person keep talking to you? Otherwise known as a value proposition. So do you have yours? You can tell a story, switch it up, use colleagues, and they'll begin to look forward to it. Here's a typical situation. Can you tell a situation and a remedy? Here's one that I used. I stood up and said, a patient named Sally was about to be discharged on a Friday when everything goes wrong. Sally's daughter, Janice, in another city needed help. Help preparing for mom in her home, help obtaining, heck, how to hire home care or durable medical equipment, who'll pick up the prescriptions. What do I do if I have questions? And how will I get Sally back to her return visit, her follow-up visit? I'm Nancy Ruffner, a patient advocate, and that's what we did last Friday afternoon for Sally and Janice. 30 seconds, told a story. They know what I do. I hope that works. With round robin introductions, everybody here has been stuck in that situation where we're going around the room. Tell a story with an outcome. Create a catchy tagline or an event invitation. I've heard the wackiest taglines from people over and over until the point where we're all sing-songing their tagline with them as they say it. One of the best introductions for round robin that I ever heard was from my virtual admin, and she starts it out with, "Hi, I'm Stacy, and I sell time." And then she goes on to couple that with a couple of seconds about how she solved the client's problem. So let's execute this. Surround yourself, those of you who don't yet know, surround yourself with possibilities. Know and recognize these possibilities the next time they come around. Maybe you're at an event and you recognize somebody that was there the last time. Say hey to them. Who doesn't like to be remembered? Or make introductions. Be the hero. You might be bailing them out. They may be uncomfortable or alone too. So make an introduction. You're positioning yourself as the expert that way, or one heck of a nice person. And you can make that introduction and then move on to meet other people. If you don't know anybody, and we've said this, grab or be a wingman, wing person, and go on and meet somebody. Maybe the two of you can go and penetrate a small group. And then there's one-on-ones. One-on-one networking meetings. First, may I please express a pet peeve? Do your homework. There's nothing that I hate more than sitting across from somebody or entering a Zoom room with somebody, and they have not done me the honor of knowing anything about me. They just sit down at the table and they say, "So, tell me about yourself." And that lowers my estimation of that person. Homework is
Nancy, there's a few ways to look at that.
Yes.
it just depends on how much research you have to do on that person ahead of time. And that's always very good. But it's also a good thing to hear that person's version of what they do, because we know now in the internet, social media age, people will put things online that may not necessarily represent really who they are. And so once you ask them, then they'll go right to the point of what their strong suit is or what they need. So kind of balance that, you all. It's good for you to look up things online, but we all know that all those beautiful pictures online and all those things that we see may not necessarily be the real deal. So just keep a balance there.
I'm in agreement with that. I think that my preparatory work would be helpful if I knew and could congratulate them on an award that they just won. Or maybe their civic group had an event and I attended it and it went well. We're finding common ground in these kinds of conversations. I might ask, once we know a little bit more about each other, what kind of people do you need to meet? And maybe I can facilitate those introductions and then do it. And here's an easy one. Send a follow-up article to somebody, or just out of the blue article, hi, this made me think of you, or we were just talking about this, or something about their industry or profession. Helps you to stay top of mind with them. Next, we're moving to summits and expos and conferences. Now, you may be at the expo, or you may be expositioning there as well. But at these kinds of conferences and summits and events, this is where you are increasing your visibility. You might be prospecting for your own business relationships or finding those vendors, meeting the people that your clients are going to need. You may
Nancy, let me just interject here. First
Please.
of all, you all need to go to these conferences.
Indeed.
I know that I was heads down, just like you all are. Every now and then I would go to one. I definitely went to those for the association that's related to what you do. If it's patient advocates, if it's home care, if it's PT, if there's places like that that you can go, pull yourself away and go to those meetings and meet people. You really need to do that. Don't ignore that and say, oh, I've got so much work to do. Let that be your professional development, because the things that she's talking about, in order to execute, you got to be in the room.
You're right. There's so much, benefit. It's not just about trundling through an event or an exhibition hall. It's about finding and fellowshipping and learning. It's a little bit of FaceTime. Maybe you're exhibiting and you're collecting email addresses because you have a giveaway. You're having conversations with other professionals. Again, we're finding people that our clients might need so that we can connect them. Maybe there are sponsors there that you need to hobnob with or that need to know you, but this is some of that intention that we were talking about. Approach this with intention. If you're exhibiting at an event, arrange for somebody to cover your booth so you can go and work the room and meet the people you need to meet. I suggest you go through an event in a number of ways. First, go through, collect the swag, the collateral, the print material for later. Meet the people. Later, go back and look at the color, look at the collateral, what's catching your eye, both in the moment when you're there and later on when you're taking a look at their collateral. When you're in the expo hall, what are the exhibitors doing right? Do you see conversations? Do you see a buzz at one particular table? What are they doing that's off-putting? Like checking their phones as attendees walk by. Stand back and watch this kind of stuff. Watch each aisle for a minute. Or maybe you're volunteering at the event before or during. I love to volunteer at registration. I see every single person that comes to the event, and then I move on to another function called people moving, and people will come to me and ask directions. Sometimes I'm introducing a breakout speaker. and helping folks get their lunch, find their seating. And you can bet that this entire time I'm wearing my name badge. It's visibility, it's work, and it's intention. There's a lot of ways to use an exposition too when you're an out-of-towner. For example, maybe you go to your professional, your industry's conference, your professional organization's conference. I went to one late last fall. It was the Certified Senior Advisors, and they could not have made it any easier for me because the ribbons on the name badges had a hot pink one along the bottom that says first timer. Hot pink first timer made it really easy for everybody to go up and introduce themselves and say, it's my first time too. And we made friends. The single best advice that I can give anybody about events and conferences came from a gentleman named Rick Messimer. And he's a community liaison for an attorney's office. And he said, I love to exhibit. I love to go because do you know how long it would take me for me to visit and have one-to-one meetings with 200 people? They're all coming to me. We're all going to be under one roof. There are lots of local and regional ideas too. One is called 100 Cups of Coffee. And this is a LinkedIn story from a guy named Jason Elkins out of Tennessee. And he made a vow that he was going to have 100 cups of coffee that year, meet 100 new people, meet the professionals. And that idea works out very well, whether it's 100 or 52, one a week. It helped his networking. Other things that work, civic groups, the Rotary, the chambers, and the chamber committee. How about the ambassador committee? Events like for Parkinson's, or could you sponsor a booth there? Could you sponsor a team in the walk and put it all on your social media? And volunteering. You see everybody if you volunteer. And we're coming back to that topic in just a moment to build that out a little bit more. While we're networking, the backside of networking is follow-up. Best thing I can tell you is just do it. It is crucial. It's critical. Whether it's a client who's inquiring about your services, or maybe professionals who need our services as well for their clients. Folks are harried when they come to us, and you're often a lifeline for the people that are your callers. So what are we gonna say? We're gonna do what we say we're gonna do. Same with professional partners. Our follow-up enables us an easy way back to us, keeps us top of mind. And we're doing what we say we're going to do. And that builds trust. Now, there's an important what not to do here. An important part of following up is first impression. You don't want to come out right out of the gate with any kind of request of any sort. Build the relationship first. Just shoot a follow-up message, recapping the conversation, telling you appreciated their time, and you look forward to more conversations. Exchanging business cards does not mean game on, I can start selling to you. Have you ever had that happen to you? It's kind of cheesy. We got to develop ways to store our new connection information. We got to follow up as agreed, or take the initiative to do it first. You can scan their QR code and give that data a destination so you can keep it. I know people that keep business cards in notebooks, like baseball cards. Some people use Ziploc bags that are sorted by industry or event, or they enter the information in their CRM or their email contacts. Whether your approach is high tech or low tech, find what works for you. Following up is a foundation. It is a requisite for what will return to you. So don't dread it. It's planting seeds. It's intention and purpose that we've been talking about. I often get calls 2 years later. I bet you do too. There are no coincidences. Some people just have heard exactly what they needed, and you are top of mind. So grow those seeds. Moving on to social media. The whys. First of all, remember It's for them, not for you. It's not all me, I do this. Your presence has to be about what your clients are looking for, what they're seeking. Now, people will find you and they'll vet you too. They're going to make some assumptions about what they see while they vet you. So we want to make your presence known, but also engaging. As far as the what's in the house, have a presence. If you have a Facebook page and you haven't posted since 2021, that might be a poor reflection. If your industry professionals or prospective clients are on LinkedIn, then improve your listing. Don't be the egghead. No picture on your LinkedIn profile with 49 connections. Grow that. When I was young in business and I had little credibility, no newsletter, I hadn't begun speaking, there was no place to put any certification I might have earned. I got some good advice from a social media pro. And what he told me was to make your posts and your images about what you're doing to build your business. I'll say that again, make your posts and images about what you're doing to build your business if you're new. So I posted on Facebook about me going to an event or the event's location at that senior living facility, image, or attending a caregiver conference, image, connecting with new professionals, image, in a breakout room about basic legal documents, image, and with attorney who's it, who taught the breakout room, image. See what I mean?
Yes. Nancy, before you go any further, I want to just talk to you all about something just right quick.
Yeah.
When we get to social media, we're posting online. Keep in mind, you are in healthcare and you are under HIPAA rules and laws. So it's so scary when I look on someone's Facebook page and I see you can tell it's a real client, someone that may be elderly. And, I'm wondering, did they get someone's consent? Does that person live alone? Please be careful about that. Nancy's talking about good things that you can post, things that you do, or if you go and participate in something in the community or you do Meals on Wheels or whatever. But I would be very cautious about using any pictures of people's faces other than you and your employees. And some of your employees may not want their faces posted on social media. That you need to be aware of. So try to get things and post things where you don't violate privacy in any way. I mean, even now, it had gotten so terrible at one time that, for nurses and all that, they have separate courses that teach about how to effectively use social media. So Nancy's going to tell us a lot of things that we can do, but lay that right under HIPAA or lay HIPAA on top of it and make sure that you do not violate that, because you're trying to get more clients. You're not trying to get in healthcare jail.
Thank you very much for bringing that up. That is such a valid concern, especially for those of us in healthcare. So thank you, Patti. Next, I was going to talk a little bit about, back to that expo, back to that event and business card exchange. Always ask if it's appropriate. You're exchanging business cards with someone. Always ask, can I add you to my email community? They'll say no if they don't want to be on any kind of email list. You can kind of dog ear that card, or if your connection is pretty good, you can let them see you dog earing that card, signaling that they're really important to you and you're going to follow up. You are going to follow up, aren't you? Online basics of social media. There are some website requisites, good for all websites. First and most important thing that I can recommend is have your phone number on every page of your website. Easy to find too. It irritates folks when they have to hunt for your contact information. If they want to contact you, don't make them work too hard. Give them no reason to abandon your site.
Yes, and Nancy, have your phone number in your email signature.
Yes.
Put that phone number in there, because if you send someone an email, they may just want to call you. It's very frustrating when you have to start searching online and go into websites and all that. Put the number that you want people to contact you on in your email signature. I think it'll improve, the callbacks that you get.
Totally agree. Sage advice. Most of the people will put their phone number on a website page on the top right. It's kind of a standard location. There are also ways that that phone number in the top right corner of your website can automatically be clicked to dial your number. It's great on a mobile view. So you can make that happen. And pay attention on your website to what they call top of fold. Top of fold is a phrase that came from back in the newspaper day. The stuff that people cared about and saw first was top of the fold of that newspaper, front page stuff. And so make sure that when you're looking at creating a website or reevaluating the one you have, that everything in that first glance, that top of fold, is important and engaging. Make sure that your website is mobile ready. If you're not quite sure what that is, you can Google mobile ready, but it's ensuring that your website looks as good on the phone as it does on someone's iPad or desktop. I have a call to action on all of the web pages, all my website's pages. It's down in the footer. And it's got a Contact Nancy button right at the bottom of every single page. So take a look at nancyruffner.com. You'll see that phone number at the top right. You'll see that footer at the bottom with a Contact Nancy button. And that's all stuff that you can enable on your website. Let's also consider that your website is a hub. Your website is your real estate. And that's kind of a Nancy term for have everything go back to that website because you own it. You own the website. You don't own Facebook or Instagram, not YouTube. Even though you have a channel and you can gain subscribers, it's still Google's, and you're subject to their changes. You can use those tools, but if you have a freebie, something downloadable, or a blog or a newsletter, then control where your content resides, your real estate. Make sure everything resides on your site. Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram can all point to it. If your freebie is downloaded, you can gain that email for your email list. More on that in a minute. But drive everything back to your real estate. Announce your blog on Facebook or LinkedIn and post it, image, but it lives on your site. People got to go to your house. There's also a Google business profile, something formerly known as Google My Business. When you're doing a Google search, you may often see a business, maybe even yours, just to the side of everything that your search just rendered. You can place an image on that. Let me back up. It's free. Do I have your attention now? Free is good. You can increase your visibility with a Google business profile. It helps your SEO, helps you build trust. You can switch out your images. You can put your phone number on there, your office operating hours, a map. You can link to your latest blog. It even carries with it free analytics. So make sure and check out and create a Google business profile. According to the social media guru Neil Patel, he says of Google business profile, a Google business profile acts like your online billboard, a signpost, and a receptionist all rolled into one. Let's talk about platforms briefly, starting with LinkedIn. Regarding the LinkedIn, have a profile. We've talked about that. A lot of people that have worked inside healthcare or for major employers don't have a LinkedIn profile yet. Maybe they felt that the need wasn't there, but it is now. Please know that people are going to vet you. They will visit your LinkedIn profile, and you'll want to know some of the best practices for LinkedIn.
Nancy, hold on one second. I'd like to say a lot of healthcare people don't have a LinkedIn profile. And if you do, you have not really populated it. But if you have a business, you need a LinkedIn profile. And I know that you don't work on that a lot, because I didn't either when I was down in the weeds, but get it up there, get your picture up there, the name of your business, that you're the owner, and go on there as often as you can, even if it's just twice a week, and see what's going on, or put something on there. But people are looking for you on LinkedIn for credibility if you're a business owner, and then connect to other people in your industry. But get the basics up there. It's very frustrating for me when someone says, I have a business and it's called such and such, and I've been in business for 3 years, and they don't have anything on LinkedIn. It's nice to have your Facebook and all that, use all of it, but that LinkedIn is your profession, a place where you want to be professionally.
Absolutely. Spend some time Googling elements of a LinkedIn page, or take a course. I just was in a great course yesterday so that I can keep mine current and better represent myself, and to attract the people, attract my target audience. Platforms. Well, what do LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, YouTube all have in common? It's not your real estate. We just talked about that. You know, you may post or blog on some of these platforms, but always tie it back to the website. Take every opportunity to bring people into your house and to keep them there. So maybe you've written something like a blog, and inside it you have a link to a source or a link to an organization. Make sure that that link, when your reader clicks on it, opens into a new tab. Don't take them away from your website. They can open in a new tab, because you want to keep that website open. Give people no reason to leave as they click on a link. They can click on a new link. You know, a new tab will keep your real estate office open a lot longer. Use your social media to be where your clients are or their loved ones. For example, I work a lot in elder care. So for me, being on Facebook and having a robust Facebook page was the demographic I needed for not only seniors, but their adult children as well. If you're young in business, here's an invitation for you. Visit and use other people's stuff. Visit my page, Nancy Ruffner, patient advocate, aging expert. Use my stuff and share it out until you get your own going. You know, there's plenty of healthcare articles on that Facebook page. Feel free to use them and extend the conversation for the reader at the same time. What does everything on this slide do for you besides everything? Social media will keep you top of mind, nice and branded, offer helpful information, hot links back to your website, which is your hub. And it's the opportunity to mention other blogs with hot links. Can you promote the upcoming activities on your social media? Maybe upcoming expo, a speaker, maybe one of your partners' webinars. Patti and I collaborated and promoted tonight's webinar. We used key segments of our email list. We posted on Facebook and LinkedIn, and they shared it out to other groups. Very powerful stuff. Newsletters. You might want to consider starting a newsletter that serves the reader, not the me, what I do, but here's how I serve, here's how I solve. Value add kind of stuff. So have maybe a monthly topic. This is the month of, or an educational article. This is where you want to be with your folks, is serving. Now, how do you grow an email list? Well, can spam act? prohibits your just adding emails and names on to create your email list. There's got to be a double opt-in. Excuse me. Don't just add addresses. It's rude and it's unprofessional. Always display in anything you send out, email wise, email marketing wise, newsletter wise, always display a way to unsubscribe. Make people in control. And it's good to keep a clean list. It's professional, it avoids spam, and it's customizable. Nice touch. You can set the tone and you're controlling the narrative of this whole thing. But read some online articles. Get familiar with this whole opt-in responsibility that we have. Here's a tip. The email marketing companies like MailChimp or ConvertKit or HubSpot, they all have free tutorials. They want you to know how to use their tools to start your newsletters, to grow your lists. They're going to teach you how. Look them up. I do a biweekly campaign is what I call it. I send out an email that's got a blog embedded in it. I do a video of the blog, and then I send them back to my real estate, my website, so that they have the option again to read or listen to it. But it builds that know, like, and trust factor. Every 2 weeks, you're going to get something in the inbox, and it helps keep me top of mind to my clients when they'll need me. Any research that you do for all of this writing that you may attempt, a blog or a newsletter or an article or a freebie, lots of options. Keep your research. Use that information 6 ways to Sunday. Write it once, use it 6 times. Keep it. Elevating yourself. That's training. That's continuing education. Thank you for being here tonight. It's industry classes like SCORE. Let me stop and give props to our host tonight, SCORE. Absolutely, for them to enable this webinar for us. Other places that you can better yourself might be with the Small Business Association, the SBC Small Business Center, or SBDC Small Business Development Center. They offer free classes, some local, some online. You might attend your professional conferences. Get your CEs in order too. And then Toastmasters. I've told you before, Patti and I entered a Toastmaster class, and I think we bettered ourselves very much so. We didn't know how far we would come in just a few short years.
That's true.
Elevating each other. Free. Free is good. Thank you, Jim. Jim was my instructor at an SBC, at a small business center. And he would always say, free is good. But like and comment what you see other people putting out. Share it. Maybe add a little bit of your positive commentary and credit that person. Further the online conversation. Get people used to seeing your thumbnail image. Ask questions of the person who did the original post. It helps you. It helps the reader. It increases your visibility, and it costs nothing to get this kind of Google juice. Now, everybody here can do something today that's going to help us all. You can post and comment on each other's stuff and extend that conversation. John Q. Public needs to begin to recognize your thumbnail image, and your great comments are going to get you noticed. Patti and I will not mind one bit if everybody on this webinar tonight posts something like, I attended this powerful and interesting SCORE webinar for healthcare professionals to learn marketing. Do it. Get yourself some Google juice. Volunteering, the where's, the why's, and the ROI. Had my business not been known, had I not marketed ballistically in my first few years, my agency really would have suffered much more during the pandemic. Lots of small businesses went under. Lots more were circling the drain. And there are payoffs to what we're about to cover here in volunteering. Now, Patti's a SCORE volunteer. Patti, please tell us how that helps your business.
Yes, and let me tell you all are here through SCORE tonight, but I want you to know that SCORE is an all volunteer organization. We have 10,000 plus volunteers throughout the country, and everyone comes and offers their expertise. It is free. You do not have to pay to come to SCORE. And for those of you on the line, if you're struggling with any part of your business, please make sure that you come and get yourself a SCORE mentor. Please
Check it
mute
out.
everyone. Please mute.
I picked the whole damn book back up. I had it on my back when I walked from his room to the kitchen.
I'm trying to mute her. I'm sorry.
Hmm.
Okay, sorry, y'all. Make sure that everyone can have a SCORE mentor. What you can do is you go to score.org. And when you put your zip code in there, it will direct you to the branch that's closest to you, no matter where you are in business. If you're getting started, if you need marketing, if you need financial, whatever you need, there should be a SCORE mentor that can help you. Now, a lot of SCORE mentors don't have healthcare experience, but there's a lot of things about your business that are not healthcare specific. You know, you still need to keep your business plan up to date. You sometimes want to enter new areas, new markets, and they can help you to sort that out. So that is something I want you all to know. I love being with SCORE. I mentor a lot, and I try to do webinars or classes, but this has been great for me. When Nancy and I were in Toastmasters, the actual chapter chair for SCORE was one of our peers, Dan Scala, and he invited me to SCORE. And I have, that's been 5 years ago, and I have just really enjoyed it. Dan has moved on to other things, but I'm still here, and I just love what I'm able to do. And when you volunteer with any organization, it is not going to hurt you. That is going to help your business, because whenever you volunteer and people say, well, what do you do for your real job or whatever? And you tell them, they're like, oh, and you're volunteering your time too. So I encourage you, that is another marketing tool, is that you volunteer. And those of you, you can do Meals on Wheels, you can volunteer at your church. There's all types of things that you can do, but make sure that you tell them what you do and they know what your expertise is, and it will really be beneficial to you.
You're absolutely right. You just mentioned a very powerful one, and that is faith communities and churches. And I know you have a lot of experience there, but you know, sometimes churches, faith communities can be a hub for a certain population. Maybe they have a new mothers population or a senior population. Maybe they have a specialized ministry for the target that you serve, or even dedicated clergy. Sometimes the churches or faith communities could be large enough for a speaking engagement. I've spoken to churches as a one-off, and I've often taken to larger churches an entire series of talks, bringing my fellow professionals in with me to sit on a panel and help educate the people who happen to be in our target audience. Or maybe it's not just one big church. Maybe it's a cluster of a lot of faith communities that come together, churches in proximity or churches in the same denomination, that kind of thing. There are other ways to volunteer.
Nancy, let me give an example about
Please
that.
do.
When I was doing my home care, most churches now, because our population is aging, so most churches have a seniors ministry now. So I would go to the churches and I'd say, we're a home care agency and we would like to come in and talk to your seniors ministry about some things they need to be concerned about. So I would go in and talk about senior vaccines. I would just talk about anything that they, you know, may need to be aware of, or tests that they needed to take. And then I would do something really simple, and everybody loves this. I would take their blood pressure. I brought my blood pressure cup. I had a little piece of paper that I would write their blood pressure on, and so I got a chance to talk to that person. They sat down and, you know, I put the cuff on. So that wasn't something I had to do, but everybody loves that. And I gave them the little paper. It had the name of the business on it. It had the website on it. So it's little things like that that you can do to be memorable. And then I spoke to them. So those churches will really let you in, because senior ministries are always looking for things like that. And your clients they're in the church or affiliated with the church. So that's a great one. Don't overlook that one.
Absolutely. You're 100% correct. There are so many places for us to volunteer. Some have been mentioned. I got a few more. Maybe you can be back to those summits and events. Maybe you can volunteer there. It's good for relationship building among your peers too. One time I helped stuff some merch bags ahead of one of those big caregiver conferences. We had 200 bags to stuff. And there we were, all of us professionals who served the same client, fellowshipping, working, elbow to elbow, and getting to know one another and our businesses better. And that was strengthening. It was powerful. You could become more active, volunteer in your professional organization or your chapter. Yeah, there may be board positions, or you could lead a webinar, help out with the conference, facilitate a breakout room if you're meeting online. Just be the one that asks the questions in that breakout room. There are a lot of ways to serve. Most important thing is that we become the dependable one. The one that people know will help, the one that serves. There may be chapter organizations, chapter offices of some organizations relative to various diseases. Your local Parkinson's organization or chapter, your Alzheimer's agencies need volunteers, multiple sclerosis as well. We've mentioned civic involvement, the Rotary, the Kiwanis, and the Chamber, not only for their events, but join it to gain that listing. You know, out of town people read the chamber directories. I know as a business prospector from a long time ago, I go straight to the chamber membership directory, whether I'm in town or out of state. We've covered networking, social media, volunteering. It's key to remember that all of this starts with intent. Network, work. We can all do this with little or no cost. In fact, everybody on this webinar can connect, use the information that's gone into the chat, connect with one another, begin helping one another, and start employing some of the tactics that we've talked about in this workshop. If you like what you've heard, I have an invitation for everybody here tonight. I'd like to make everybody aware of my next offering. It's the Midwinter Marketing Series, February 13, 20, and 27. If you want to go deeper and longer on these kinds of marketing topics, or what can hold a practitioner back, confidence building and the benefit there, or networking like a champ, I have that information on my website, right on the homepage, nancyruffner.com. Or you'll see it on LinkedIn when you're going there, or on my Facebook page. I'll try to get a link placed into the chat before we wrap up tonight, but I invite everybody here. All of this is made with our intentions, setting our intentions, having purpose, serving, and much of what we talked about, no cost, low cost, high return on investment. We'll move into the question and answer segment in just a moment. There's our contact information should anybody still need it.
So far, it doesn't look like we've had a whole lot of questions. It looks like a lot of networking is going on, but there's one thing I want to make you all aware of. When I was in home care, you know, if you just with your regular car, you can go and have a magnet that goes on the side of your car, a sign with your logo, the name of your business, your services, your phone number. And now, of course, we all use QR codes as well. And you can put it on your car and take it off. That can be an advertisement that you can have all the time when you're riding around, going to the mall, when you're at church. But if you want to take it off, you just take it off. So I found that to be very beneficial. And I always notice when I see someone with that on their car, I always look at it, make note of it. So I said, if I'm looking at it, I know other people are too. So it doesn't matter what kind of business you're in on this call tonight, you can put that on your car and have that out there as you move around. If you're going to the cleaners, you're at the grocery store, you're advertising your business. And put that QR code on there, because then that takes them right to your website. And that's, people really love that now, to see those QR codes, all of the basic information. And for all, please, please, please answer your phone. When people get your information and call you, answer that phone or have someone else answer it. I think I've told you all this story in other seminars before. I always made sure my phone was answered. One Sunday, I was actually coming back from a Carolina Panthers game on 85. A call came through to my business. I answered the phone because I had it coming right to my phone. And it was a man whose wife was in the hospital at Duke. He was from Virginia. And he said, I have to go home. I have to leave my wife here. He said, and I need someone to take care of her. He said, I've gone down this whole list and you're the only one that answered the phone. So I talked to him, and I had an aide right there in Durham, and I, worked out something with him. We got everything set. I made $5,000 on that case because I answered my phone. Answer the phone, y'all. Don't ignore those calls. And it's good to have a live voice on there sometimes. It's nice to have an answering machine, but for the business you all are in, you need to answer the phone. That is critical. You just never know who's gonna call. One of the other things that I did was, if someone referred to me, I would keep track of where those referrals came from. And it'll cost you a little bit of money, but not a lot. I would send my gifts at Thanksgiving. So instead of Christmas, everybody's sending gifts. So I would go to Mrs. Fields Cookies and I would order cookies online and send it to that business. And they would put our information on there as to where it came from. So that way your referral sources know that you care about them, that you thought about them. But remember, those people, you want those referrals to continue. So spend a little bit of money sometimes and send your clients something, because you go all year long. If it costs you $500, it's been a whole year. If they give you 5 clients, that's more than covered. And then they get to, it's relationship building. They're like, oh, they really appreciated us. One time I actually sent candy to some of my clients, and this one gentleman picked up the phone and he said, oh, thank you so much for this candy. He said, what did we do for you? And I said, well, you sent us some clients. And he was like, oh, well, that's good. Now, he remembered us from that. So just keep that in mind, that follow-up, little things. And I always tell people, if you're going to send somebody cookies or candy, make it good candy. Don't go to Walmart and buy that bag that has nothing on it. Make it name brand candy, things that people like. That's just little things that you try to remember. Excuse me. So those are some of the things that I remember doing that were just very effective with keeping my referral sources engaged, because there's plenty of people that have your client. Your clients are, of course, we sit at church, they go to the grocery store, they're at the doctor's office. Your clients are everywhere. So make sure that when you get a referral from any of those individuals, that you start to build those relationships and reciprocate. It doesn't have to be another home care agency. It's physical therapists, occupational therapists. Another good success that I had was, there was a gentleman that did yard work. And I gave him some little brochure, like small brochure cards, the size of like a postcard. And he was doing these people's yard and he handed them one. Well, one morning, a lady called me and she said, oh my God, she said, I fell and I hurt myself. And she said, and this is the only number I could find because I had your card. So we were able to get it worked out. Now, once we got involved, this lady actually had contact with a home care agency. And I think there was a patient navigator involved as well, but she couldn't find their information that morning. And so we did go in and we helped her for maybe a week or so until things got worked out. But just answering the phone, yard people, anybody that does anything around the house, people that cut down trees, they're seeing your clients. Those are people you can collaborate with. Collaboration is everything. You can take everything to the next level by collaborating. Okay, so I'm not looking to see if there are any questions in the chat, but if you have a question, please open your mic. If someone has a question that they just needed addressed right now, if you'll open your mic.
Hi, good evening.
Hello?
Yeah, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, first of all, I want to thank you for that wonderful presentation. I sent you my question earlier on. I'm very new in healthcare staffing agency, and I'm based out in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Mhm.
When I trained with somebody in Florida, the only method that I was informed to do was to call the nursing homes, nursing assistant, and then send email. I have done that for almost a year with no contract. So how do I overcome that? And I
Okay,
also need a mentor too.
okay. Well, basically, all of these things that Nancy went through tonight, they will work for all of you. The Nursing Home Association, they have meetings and conferences. Sending emails, a lot of people are not doing that as much. I mean, they read it. If it says they don't have to do anything right then, they're not going to do anything. Have you tried going to some of those nursing homes to meet the person that actually would contract your services? Have you done that?
Yeah, I've done that. So they will tell me I need to set up an appointment, and that's why I'm placing a call to them.
And they won't give you an appointment? Are you having trouble getting appointments?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you sent me your email, so I will see if I can work with you. Send me another one and I'll see if we can work out something a little more strategic for you. Let me say this to you all too. Since I mentor so much with all types of businesses, you all don't go in business without a business plan. A business plan is going to have the question he just asked me. There was a part of that business plan would have said, who is my competition? How will I do market research? Where are they? I know that we all have passions about being in business. This is my SCORE hat that I'm talking from now. You want to be in business, but do that business with a business plan and go through every element in that plan. When I started that home care agency in 1999, I worked on my business plan for 4 months because I did not know what I was getting into. I knew how to be a good nurse. I knew how to follow up. I knew a little bit about, marketing, but I had to learn that industry. So you can go out here and get your license to be whatever it is you're going to do and hang out that shingle. But you need a marketing plan and you need to know who to go to. Now, the public libraries have a plethora of information where you can pull your target audience. But you need to identify your target audience. You go online in Wake County, you get a library card, and then you drill down to find that system where you can find your clients. If you want all the people over 85 years old, they're in there. If your target audience is, we talked about churches, you can find them in there. If there's a certain demographic or type of business that you're looking for, it's there. So make sure you all get a library card so that you can target. You don't just blanket and throw something out there and hope that it sticks. You go to the right person. I just recently went on that system to be sure that it was still working. I had to update my library card. I got it immediately. I went on there, got into the system. I started pulling up home care agencies. Anything you want, you define how much you put the information in there. So you need to know who to market to. That is critical. And if you're sitting on this call tonight and you're in business and you don't have a business plan, go back and do that plan. You should keep one and update it anyway. But this is what we do at SCORE. We work with people on their business plan. You think it through. You figure out how you're going to get it done. That is just critical that you do that. So 2 things I want you all to make sure you have is that get that LinkedIn profile and get that business plan updated if you have one. If you don't have one, don't be ashamed. It's not too late. You can still get it and start to work with it.
Good question. Good answers. Do we have more?
I also want you all to know that at SCORE, we are accepting volunteers as well to be SCORE mentors. You may be in an industry where you've kind of gotten to the top of it. You can still have a job, but if you feel like you have knowledge that you can share, you do the same thing. You go to score.org, you put your zip code in, and you can be a volunteer, a mentor, a subject matter expert. That would be excellent for some of you if you're a doctor or if you're a physical therapist or whatever, and you have some time, you can be a subject matter expert. But there's people that need help, and we do need more volunteers. So just consider that. You might not be there yet, but there may be something that you can offer as well. I like to make sure you all know that too. Is there any other question right this minute? Because if you have something, get it to me and I'll see how we can get you some help. Nancy and I will, work on it going forward, or I will find a way to get you some resources, because this is what I do every day with SCORE. Also, I would like to know, are there seminars or workshops that you all feel would be beneficial to you? If you would go in the chat and tell us what some of your weaknesses are and some other things that you'd like to see in the future, and maybe later this year, in a few months, we can put something together along those lines too. We want to really be helpful. I'm really excited about all the people that showed up here tonight. We know that there's a lot of help that's needed, and we want to be sure we're targeting what your needs are and not just putting things out there just because we want to do it to help you with your needs.
I'll jump on board with that. I absolutely love to develop training that fills a need. So please let us know what you need. We will work for you. Any other questions? Please come forward.
There's a couple of us that are asking more about this library system. So if you can
Yes.
just go on a little bit more about that.
Yes, if you will go to, I think you go to wake.gov and then find the public library. I do have a handout that I got from them recently, and I can blast that out to you all because I did a little research on it before I mentioned it tonight. And they also have it where if you go on there and get your library card and you start going to those systems where you pull the data, you can actually make an appointment with a librarian that will come on and talk to you and show you how to use the system. But this particular lady sent me a couple of handouts. I had already gone on there and kind of figured it out a little bit. And so she sent me some things that were very helpful, and I will certainly share that with you all because I think it will take you a long way. We talked about this a lot when we did our business plan series with SCORE and Shaw University. We had someone that would teach that. So I really know that it can help you a lot, and I will share what my librarian sent to me. But make sure you get that library card because that's going to be the key for you to get into those systems. But you have to click around a little bit to find it.
Thank you.
And it's free information. It is no charge. It's free.
Free is good.
Other questions? I know we gave you a lot tonight. Someone needs to know how to recruit PCAs, CNAs, and RNs. Well, first of all, Catherine, you know that they're in short supply. And so this is what I found when I went into business, is that when I came into the business, I only knew the few aides that I worked with in the hospital because I had not been in home care. So when I started to get people to work for me, I was so good to them. I treated them with the utmost respect. I valued their opinion. If I had a problem with a client, I would say, what do you think? How would you do this? I made them feel important. And you know what they did? They went and told their friends about my business. They said, oh my, because a lot of this runs in families, especially like PCAs and CNAs. They would come and they would say, well, my mom's a CNA. Do you have a job for her? Or my cousin does this and my aunt. And they would start sending people because they were treated well. I have actually seen some individuals that own agencies that do not treat people as well as they should. I treated them extra well. You know, I made sure they knew that I valued them, that they could call me, that they could talk about whatever they needed to. And when I got in a pinch and I needed them to do something, they would help me out because we were a team. We were a team. So if you can find a good nurse, if you can find a PCA or a CNA, hang on to them and treat them well. Just little things. There was this one aide that worked for us. We always sent a birthday card. And then we started sending Mother's Day cards because, you know, a lot of the people working, you know, women, you can send Father's Day cards as well. Well, this one girl came into the office one day after she got her Mother's Day card, and she said, oh my God, I can't believe you all sent me a Mother's Day card. She said, because I am so sad on Mother's Day because my son was killed in a motorcycle accident on Mother's Day in 2003. And, you know, but that helped her. She said it helped her so much. I never knew that about her. So little things, cards don't cost very much. It's just a little postage, and you can get a box of cards because we would get a box of cards, you know, that said nice things. And then I'd write a little personal note in there and sign it and just thank them. And another lady, we sent her a Mother's Day card, and she said, I was so happy to get that because my daughter is not communicating with me right now. And no one said anything to me for Mother's Day. This is all I got. So it doesn't take a lot. Yes, Christina, it is just the little things that you think is just, okay, we're just sending this out, you know, to make them know whatever, but you never know how much you touch someone. They always remember that, and they will give that back to you in service and helping you out. It's just something that you really can't replace. You know, just make sure that you think about that. You kind of have to sit and think about it, and then people start to share how much it helped them. No one's ever said, oh, I hated that birthday card or whatever. They appreciate it. I know I appreciate getting birthday cards that someone remembered. Does anyone on the call have something unique that they did that was really helpful? We'd be happy to hear it. We've got a few minutes. We're not going to try to keep you on here too much longer, but if you have something great that you did for your employees or that has happened to you before that worked, please let us know.
Or marketing efforts, something that worked, yes, something that landed well.
Well, the other thing is that these individuals, especially the home care people, they have to market for employees as well.
Yes.
So they have to do marketing for that because you need a large volume of people to really be able to make the money, to make the business profitable. All right, this has been wonderful. We've enjoyed having you all. Make sure you put what are the appropriate giveaways for goodie bags? Well, Nashi, the one thing I found was that people love gift cards. And the best gift card, I hate to plug something like this, is a Walmart gift card. A Walmart gift card, they can buy food, they can buy soap, lotion, whatever. A couple of times I was giving Golden Corral gift cards for Christmas because I was like, these ladies have to cook all the time. They cook for others. And I want them to be able to at least get a meal on their own. And it was like $50. It was a good amount back then. But then when I gave them the Walmart gift cards, they loved that even more because they could do more with it.
Along those lines for marketing, when you're creating a bag giveaway, your collateral, your swag, there are a lot of really good ideas for giveaways. One person I know gives away pens, and she said, I could kick myself. And I said, what? She said, I didn't put my phone number on the pen. I bought 500 pens and didn't put my phone number on there. And so, next time, right? But there are a lot of valuable things that you can give away, and make sure that they're all branded with your agency name, your contact, your website, whatever is best for your situation. One of the things that I'm looking at right now as I speak, I got at an expo, and it's a little slide that covers up my my camera on my laptop.
Just like that I
love
got
that thing.
yeah.
Just slide that thing over, and I know that my camera is not on. I know that I have diminished my visibility, and that's a helpful little thing. But I've seen all kinds of giveaways, and you can find out what the latest thing is while you're at the expo.
Yes, and don't forget refrigerator magnets. Those are wonderful, and they just last forever because once someone puts it on there, they leave it. So make sure.
That's it.
Amber Stanley, are you available to talk? I know.
Yes.
Yes, Amber, please tell them about your new jacket.
Okay. Am I visible? I don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
Nancy, stop
Okay,
sharing.
I can show it.
Stop sharing the screen.
I'm glad she's on.
Yes.
She had a good one. Not only
I can't see myself right
You
now.
have your blur on, but we can kind of see it.
Okay. So this is my logo on one side, and then on the back,
It says, I speak grief. She is a grief coach.
I can't see it all.
Yeah.
Sorry. And it's got my
Mhm.
website on it too.
I love that. I love that, Amber, not only for the fact that it's something you can wear and people will see it, but you took a picture of it and put it on your social media, and even more people saw it. It was genius.
I
Yeah.
actually had somebody recognize me in real life yesterday from the LinkedIn post picture of it, because that one post, and guys, this kind of ties in what they were saying about networking and connecting too, because that post was actually a thank you to the local custom t-shirt and etc. shop that I was just kind of giving them a shout out, and the company picked it up and then kind of reposted it and all of that. So that was like my largest engagement with a post ever. I think it's like at 700 or something like that at this point, just from a few days ago. So just never know what's going to work. But the reason I made this was because I had a conversation at my gym with a lady who was a yoga instructor, and she I found out that she had her son had died, and so she had talked to me, and she's like, oh, I didn't know what you did. And it occurred to me that these are conversations that like, you don't just, it would be awkward for me to just start blaring it, but having something where somebody can come up to you Or if they don't want to come up to me, right, then, you know, they can contact me on the website or things like that. You know, it's just an idea that kind of hit me on a weekend, and I went and had it made by the midweek, and it's just something simple. So thanks
Yes,
for,
I was so excited about that. And immediately she started getting hits. And Amber wrote a book last year. She had hemmed and hawed over that book for a while, but she published a book. So she's really been doing a lot of stuff. She's been working hard for years. So it just takes time, you all, to really get traction. So just keep working hard. And like we say, you have to try a lot of things. Jesse Forte, did you want to say something? It looks like your hand is up.
Yes, I wanted to mention, what about name tags? A lot of times I wear my scrubs a lot, and I know sometimes when you wear scrubs, people will look at you for an extended period of time, and you know, is that, I know that can be a form of advertisement, just like a flag on your car, but it's something that, you know, I don't know if that's been mentioned or not, but is that a pretty good idea?
Yes, it's always good to have that, you know, put the name of your business on there. If you don't, especially if you're going to an event, definitely have your name tag on. And never leave home without your business cards. Even if you're going to walk and there is a pocket on your jacket or on your sweats, put that business card in there, because you don't ever want to get caught without a business card. Now, I was at a conference about a year ago and I ran out of business cards, but I had a QR code on my phone in the form of a photo. And so I gave it to this guy and he scanned it. So you can do that too. Once you create the QR code for your website, then people can scan that as well, just in case you run out. But keep those business cards handy. Name tag, all of the above. Keep your business name out there in any way that you can. Any other good stuff or questions? Anyone?
I saw a hand raised with Jesse.
Yeah, that was Jesse's.
Okay, that was Jesse. Thank you,
Uh-huh.
Jesse.
It is so good to see you all. I recognize a lot of your names. So you all stay connected to us because we want to really help each other. Just remember, you can all tag each other when you post. Learn how to tag people on LinkedIn. That's what Amber did. She tagged the people that made her shirt. And it's a pretty big, you know, company here in Raleigh. And so she has a lot of followers too. So it really did well for her. So tag companies, you know, give people credit, and it's always gonna be, you know, good for you. She said I taught her that. Yes, I'm still learning too. I learned from you all. So I'm constantly engaging with people and trying to learn the right way to do things. Okay, y'all, if we have exhausted what we're going to do tonight, we're going to go ahead and close. And you all take care. I will send you all the information about the library card that I have, but I want you all to do that. And please get those business plans done or get them out and revise them and follow them. That is just critical. That is just what we do at SCORE. That's what I did when I had a business and I didn't know anything about SCORE. But had I not done that business plan and followed it, I would have failed. I can't say I wouldn't have made it. I would have failed. So I want you all to have the benefit of being able to go forward and make it and keep your businesses, because I think all healthcare people have something to offer. You can be in business, but you've got to do it the right way. All right. Thank you all so much. Have a great year. I don't want to close without mentioning this is Black History Month. And if you all find a way to acknowledge Black history, please do so. I will be speaking to a group. This company is called Titan America. I will be speaking to them next week about Black history. You all know that I grew up in the Birmingham, Alabama area, and Nancy knows I have a rich history with Black history and coming a long way from there. So you all acknowledge that and take care of each other. And we hope that we will see you all soon.
I put my question in the chat. Wait a minute.
Was it a while ago? If you want to go ahead and tell us what it was.
Yes, I can tell you. What my question was is I make body butter and I have a self-care package that I make. I make some of everything at home, but it's all for to help you with your skin or make you just feel better. I call it a pampering kit, so that you can, you know, feel like you're at a spa at home. And so I wanted to know if you have any ideas on how I can um, get my body butter out to some of the long-term care facilities or home health, because most of the people who are using it, I'm just really getting started. So I don't have as many clients as I would like. But most of them is by word of mouth, and most of them are seniors who are dealing with circulation, arthritis, and dry skin. And so I was just wondering if you have any ideas for me
Well,
to.
I will say that you probably will have some difficulty going through the facility itself to get the product in there because they would be liable for anything that may go wrong. And it may not be your product, but you will have to go directly to the client, their caregiver. Caregivers, there's lots of caregiver groups, you all, and that's something that you all can think about. Join caregiver forums and groups and talk about your product, because they can get that product for their loved one that needs it. They're taking care of them. They know about the skin breakdown and trying to keep the skin together. But I would say you probably will not be able to go and, have them use it under the facility banner. However, the caregiver may give it to them and ask the people to put it on that person personally that way.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes.
I appreciate everybody being here tonight. Your investment of your time into the betterment of your business, that's what we're here for. It means the world to me that y'all are all here tonight.
Absolutely. Any more questions? Because we're going to close the door. But just for now, we're available. We're still here. We'll, you all get in touch with us. We're going to learn how to take care of you all this year. We're going to try to make things better and target what you need. Okay. All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you all. We're going to go.
All
Y'all
right.
have a good night.
Night.
Have a great year.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.